What's good? What's good? Nick Script of Fantrax. We're gonna do a mock draft today. Quick one. Going to the Fantasy Pros website. It's gonna be redraft PPR Snake 12 teams. I put it at the 12 spot. I like double tapping, and I think there's gonna be a lot of value there this year. One quarterback, two running backs, three wide receivers, a tight end. I added two flexes to be cool, and then five bench spots. So let's rip this one off here. How do I start it? There we go. Start your draft. All right. All right. Interesting here. Interesting here. So at the 12 spot, you can see going down Chase, Bijan, Justin Jefferson, Puka, Lamb, Gibbs, Neighbors, Barkley, Genty, Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And now we're up. Brian Thomas Jr., excellent rookie season. Travis Hunter is now in town. We're not sure if he's going to play the full snaps of wide receiver, but should be a good duo if he does. Drake London was great last year. Breakout season. He looked very good in a small sample size with Michael Penix. A.J. Brown's a guy that can put up 1,400 yards without needing the targets that other guys do. Brock Bowers, elite rookie season. Now he gets Geno Smith, A-Chain as well. This is interesting. So we can double tap running back. I mean, I like A-Chain. Him and Tua, great connection if everybody's healthy in Miami. I'm going to go, got a lot of good options here. I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey, and here's why. In 2023, the last time he was healthy, elite, like cheat code season for fantasy football. There's risk, obviously, because he only played a couple games last year. All signs indicate that he's healthy right now. I think a healthy Christian McCaffrey in that 49ers offense is a league winner, just because he just was in 2023. So shooting for the upside of him, because I think if all these guys right here hit, or if all these guys right here hit, we've seen this guy just break fantasy before. So we're going with Christian McCaffrey at the 112. And now it's interesting because do we double tap running back? Do I go A-Chain? Derrick Henry was great in Baltimore last year. Or do I grab an elite wide receiver? And if so, who's that guy? I like Ladd. I'm a big JSN fan. I think these three have much higher upside. And you'll say, well, he was top 12 last year. They did add two running backs this offseason on a team that likes to run the ball. Trey Harris is going to be a good compliment to Ladd. I just think these three is who I'd be zoning in on. Huge Drake London fan. But I think Brian Thomas Jr. last season, him being what he was in Trevor Lawrence being banged up last season, I think he's not near his ceiling. And I think, he's a guy that can have the receiving yard upside, touchdown upside like he had in college. So I think I'm going to go BTJ here. So we're going to go McCaffrey and BTJ. All right. All right. Interesting with the wide receivers available. Running backs, tight ends there. We're not going to reach on tight end. We have a running back. We have a wide receiver. We're going to double tap here, though. So let's see who else we got. I mean, Devonta's a good option, reliable. Marvin Harrison Jr., if you're banking on a breakout season, if you believe in the talent. I like DK a lot this year. I don't know if we really need to take him at this point. Sutton was good last year with Knicks. Evans, Mr. Consistency with his production. Obviously, some added competition with Egbuka. DJ Moore, I'm a Bears fan. I'm a huge DJ Moore fan, but it's going to be interesting to see, how the targets are spread out with the Dunze and Burden and Loveland. Part of me wants to go, ooh, man, Kamara just was unreal last season, and he always feels undervalued, for a guy that's could be the second receiving option on his team. That's how they operate, especially with a rookie quarterback. It's going to be easy to find Kamara. Kyren, I always like dog Kyren, but then he just continues to produce. Man, this is a tough one. I think we're going to go here with Kyren Williams, just knowing how He's utilizing that Rams offense, ton of touchdown upside. Obviously, he's got a little bit of injury history, but I think him and McCaffrey, that's a solid stack right there. And then we're good at running back. I mean, we could flex another running back here, but I think we'll wait. And then for wide receivers, this is interesting because, Mike Evans, very reliable fantasy asset, but we're getting towards the end of that road where he's going to have some sort of fall off at some point, right? I'm gonna go. Do we take the shot on Marvin Harrison Jr.? That's interesting. DK's another guy I'm pretty high on this year. You just saw Garrett Wilson break out with Aaron Rodgers this past year. I think I'm gonna toss a dart. I'm gonna toss a dart. We got Brian Thomas Jr. and if Marvin Harrison, you saw the clips too, like being open and Kyler not finding him. I'm not going to say he was perfect or anything as a rookie. He had a pretty poor rookie season versus expectations. And I think a lot of it had to do with him and Kyler's connection, but they had this whole offseason in their organization to kind of sort that out. So we've seen a few big games out of him as a rookie, but just overall poor season. But him and McBride, it's a 1-2 punch. I think I'm going to take that shot. All right. So see who's available here. Do we want to go tight end yet? I think we can wait on tight end. I think there's plenty of value there. Quarterback, Baker, Mahomes, Knicks, Purdy. I'm a big Caleb guy. Goff's reliable. I think we can wait on quarterback as well. I like some of these wide receivers here. I think Calvin Ridley, just obviously it's been a minute since he had an elite season, but he's been over 1,000 yards back-to-back years. Cam Ward is a gunslinger. He's a guy that had some true passing yard and passing touchdown upside as a prospect. And I think that there's a bunch of guys that are just guys for the Titans right now. Tyler Lockett's like aging out of existence. Chig Okonkwo could have some relevance. They got the rookie, A.O. Maynard. Treylon Burks, I think, is alive somewhere there. I want to go Calvin Ridley because I think Calvin Ridley could be this year's like Terry McLaurin or this year's Courtland Sutton. It's a veteran wide receiver that excels with the rookie quarterback. And I truly think, regardless how high you are on Cam Ward, that there's going to be good volume. The head coach used to be the Bengals offensive coordinator, and now he's got a guy that can actually sling it. And I think Calvin Ridley could be top 10 targeted wide receiver this year, just to put it lightly. So I'm taking the shot on Ridley. I'm pretty high on Ridley this year. And then, what do we do from here? Do we go running back? I like Connor a lot. When healthy, he's utilized like a workhorse. We'd be kind of stacking that Cardinals offense a bit. Not as high on Hampton because I think he's going to be in a committee, even if he's the 1A. Chuba was good last year. Got 2 flex spots here. So do we reach on a tight end? I don't think we need to right now. Quarterback, I don't think we need to right now. So playing the board here. Jacoby's very reliable. I'm shooting for upside here. So Brian Thomas Jr., clear upside. We saw last season. Marvin Harrison Jr., if you believe in the talent, could have some upside. If he takes that leap forward in year 2. Ridley, I think we've seen the upside in the past. And I do think he can again be like this year's Terry or Sutton. I'm going to take a shot on Pickens, just knowing that Dak is going to have a ton of passing volume in that Cowboys offense. He's a big play guy. He's going to play, next to CD or across from CD, and that's going to be an impact as well when you got, a talent like Lamb that's going to draw so much attention. And I think George Pickens is going to have his true breakout season because we've seen some receiving yard upside on his resume. But on the same note, I think, he's in a new situation where volume's great, quarterback plays great, and it's going to be a 1-2 punch with him and Lamb. So I'm going to take the shot on upside there. So I like that. All right, we're in the 7th round now. So running backs are looking a little bleak here, bunch of guys that are in iffy situations. Wide receivers, quarterback. Let's see who we got. We can chill on quarterback still. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go here with some. So we took shots on upside with Marvin Harrison Jr. Christian McCaffrey can be looked at as a little risky just because of injury. We're hoping Cam Ward and Calvin Ridley look good together. I'm gonna take a shot, and so I'm not gonna take a shot. I'm gonna play it reliable here. I think Jacoby Myers has been completely undervalued for years, and he continues to produce as a top 24 asset in points per game. And I think Geno Smith is a clear upgrade over Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. I think that sometimes you kind of balance that out a little bit where you got some risk, some upside, and some safety. So I think Jacoby's a safe flex. I think him and Brock Bowers are still going to be the 1-2. Thornton and Beck or Betch are going to be guys that can work in, but I think it's clearly going to be Jacoby after Bowers. So we're going to go with some safety there. All right. Do we go tight end? I really think we can wait on tight end. We might want to grab one of these running backs because it's going to get a little thin here. And I don't mind reaching either. 8th round, like, it's cool to reach. I'm juggling two guys, which may surprise you. I think Travis Etienne is going to be the one. I do for the Jaguars backfield. He's had a good rushing yard season. He's had a good receiving season. And I think he's the most talented back. I also like Javonte Williams because I feel like we once valued him high pre-injury. And it took him, it's taken him time to get back to, what looks like himself, but he's also a pass catching running back. If you look at the numbers, and a lot of people didn't know if he could be or not. And I think we want to grab a running back just to have a little bit of depth there. So is it Etienne? I love Tracy last year, but I think him and Scadaboo are going to be a 1-2 punch. It's going to be Javonte or Travis Etienne. We've seen the production out of Etienne, and it's risky. There's a new head coach. But out of this list here, who's had the best season, I mean, Najee, we're going to exclude him because he's in that committee, I think, with Hampton. I'm going to take a shot on Etienne. All right. Wide receivers here. Maybe we go double tap with the quarterback tight end here. Ninth, end of the 9th. I feel like we don't have to reach on any of these guys. I'm gonna be a homer here. I think Caleb Williams was a great prospect. I believe in the talent of Caleb Williams. I think he had so many good things in his favor this offseason. Head coaching upgrade in Ben Johnson. They completely addressed that offensive line. Maybe it's not perfect, but they definitely put in plenty of effort to address the offensive line. And then you add Burden and you add Loveland to DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet. So he's got better coaching, better protection, more weapons. I think that this is the lowest the market's ever going to look at Caleb Williams' value. I think he's going to have a breakout season, and I think he's going to be one of the biggest risers for fantasy football. So could we have Dak or Drake take a shot on Drake May, Purdy, Herbert? Yes, but I think that this is again the cheapest we're going to be viewing Caleb Williams, and I believe in him. And then what we got here? Tight end. Should we go tight end? Should we go tight end at this point, or should we grab some more? So Christian Kirk, I think, could be the number 2. I know everybody likes the rookie in Higgins, but I do think he could be the number 2. I love Egbuka as a talent. Big fan of Burden. Do we just stack that? We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide receivers already. Running backs, we're looking at handcuff territory. Just take a shot on a guy. A lot of people are down on Andrews. I'm a big Tucker Kraft guy. I think that he can have a breakout season himself, especially with no clear wide receiver 1. But Andrews was solid last year, and all the Isaiah Likely truthers will say it every year until Mark Andrews retires, if he's going to stay a Raven, that this is the year that Likely takes over, and not what happened last year, like so many of you guys said. And Andrews continued to thrive. And Lamar Jackson had a career year through the air, passing attempts, passing yards, passing touchdowns. And Andrews is still going to be a guy that's highly targeted in the end zone. So if he falls off, then I'll get burned and I'll have some depth here. But I'm going to go Andrews. All right. So now we're at the point in the draft. We're going to quick fire because I'm going a little bit longer than I wanted to. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take a shot on 4 dart throws. Maybe one of them needs to be an extra tight end just for the sake of, I mean, we're looking at a bunch of handcuffs here, right? Yep, all handcuffs. So let's go. Interesting. I'm gonna just quick fire here. The last couple of picks. Man, do I want to go Kincaid? I'm just gonna do it. You know, if maybe he's a year 3 breakout. Again with Josh Allen, and he actually was on pace to do nice things. And had some impacts last year. Let's just do that. Let's go handcuff and Trey Benson behind James Conner, who has had some injury history himself. Let's go. I'm going to shoot for, man, Thielen's good when he's on the field. I think he could be like Keenan Allen was last year. Everybody's like, oh, Keenan Allen's like this age. He's not going to be the biggest factor. And then he was super reliable for Caleb. I'm a huge Ted McMillan fan, but I still think he's going to be a reliable outlet. So let's do that. And then we got one more pick. We're going to shoot for some upside here. Shoot for upside. What are we going to do? Let's see who's in this. Want to be part of me wants to be like super spicy. You know what? Rookies go underdrafted. Let's say that Christian Kirk isn't the number 2 option. Let's just take a shot on Higgins. They decent draft capital, decent opportunity. Let's see what my grade here is. C. I don't think it's a C. I give it a B plus. I think this team competes. I mean, look at that pick. Caleb Williams, Christian McCaffrey, Kyron Williams, BTJ, Marvin Harrison, Calvin Ridley, Andrews, Pickens, Myers. This bench is a little shitty. I'm not going to lie. Sorry. Can I swear on this? Oh, it's my stream. Yeah, I can. But what do you guys think?